You have two documents that you're going to want to make sure you read thoroughly before you start your apply assessment. The first one is lengthy, but it includes all the directions and it actually has two different test options for you to choose from. So you will only choose one option. The second document is actually the workspace or the worksheet that you can print if you have access to a printer. If you don't have access to a printer, you are more than welcome and encouraged to show your work and write your paragraph just on a sheet of notebook paper or a white sheet of printer paper. So let's get started and read this problem together. No matter which option you choose, you should all read the first page with the picture of the treehouse. Dan offered to help his family members repair the incredible treehouse in their backyard by replacing a few of the rotting pieces of wood with new pieces of lumber he will purchase at the local hardware store. Fortunately for Dan, he noticed many right triangles in the treehouse architecture and thought he might be able to use the Pythagorean theorem to help him find some of the unknown measurements. So the next two pages include two different problems or two different scenarios. You will choose only one of the options to find an unknown side length using the Pythagorean theorem and help Dan make a decision about which wood to purchase at the hardware store. Note, when he goes to the hardware store, he discovers that the shortest piece of lumber is cheapest and the longest piece is the most expensive. He wants to make sure each piece of wood that he buys is long enough to complete each right triangle. But he doesn't want each piece to be too long because that would require the purchase of a saw. So keep that in mind when you're trying to make a decision. So let's look at the first option. Dan noticed in the right triangle formed directly below the treehouse, the piece of wood that could be called the hypotenuse, which is this one here, was starting to rot. So he planned to replace it with a new piece of wood from the local hardware store. The lengths of the legs given are 25 inches and 27 inches. When he went to the hardware store, he found that he had three options to purchase. Option A, 32 inches, option B, 37 inches, and option C, 44 inches. So this next part is the directions for what you're actually going to do on the worksheet that you're going to print or on the separate sheet of paper, okay? When you're finished showing your work and writing your paragraph, take and upload a picture of your paper and submit the picture for this Canvas assignment. Please make sure that your camera is in focus and that your camera is not really far away. You want to make sure that your teacher can actually read the work and see all the numbers and see your calculations before you take the picture. You also want to review the rubric before you submit to make sure you've included all the requirements for a score of 30 out of 30. So step one, you're going to help Dan find the length of the length of the hypotenuse of this right triangle that's formed and show your work. If necessary, round your answer to the nearest tenths place. Step two, write a paragraph. Paragraph means at least 3 to 5 sentences, explaining which lumber option, A, B, or C, is best for Dan to purchase. Be sure to justify your thinking with a mathematical and written explanation. All right, option 2, that means if you choose option 1, you do not have to do option 2. If you choose option 2, you do not need to complete option 1. Dan decided the staircase behind the treehouse would be more stable and secure if he could add a piece of wood to complete the base of the right triangle. So he's wanting to add a piece of wood right here at the bottom. It's the part that has the question marks next to it. The piece of wood he purchases will make up a leg of the right triangle that is currently labeled with question marks. He measured the height, or the other leg, and found that that was 50 inches. And he also measured the hypotenuse, which is this one here, and he found that one to be 85 inches. He thought those measurements would help him determine the length of the piece of lumber he needs to buy to put right here. So he has three options. Option A, he has a little helper, Mrs. Higuchi's daughter, hiding in the picture here. 60 inches in length. Option B, 65. And option C, 70. So your directions for option 2 are exactly the same as those for option 1. Okay? Except you're finding a leg instead of a hypotenuse. So once again, you'll need to show all your work, and if necessary, round your answer to the nearest tenths place. And then you will also write a paragraph explaining which lumber option is best for Dan to purchase in this scenario. Be sure to justify your thinking with a mathematical and written explanation. So hopefully these directions are clear enough for you to be able to successfully complete this and get a score of 30 out of 30. Also, I wanted to show you that if you do have access to a printer, you'll see there's a document called the Workspace Worksheet, and you can print out just page 1 if you're choosing to do option 1, and you can show all your work on this sheet and only submit the picture of this page. Or if you choose option 2, you can print just page 2 and show all your work here. But again, if you don't have access to a printer, that's okay. Just do this on a piece of paper. Good luck.